front of the machine. Coming off the motor, we've got a clutch assembly. There's two halves to it, pulls apart like that. And the cone inside. This handle here is responsible for engaging the clutch cone in the clutch body. When it's engaged, like so, it drives the chain inside the chain case, that drives the reel round and round, and actually cuts the grass. You can turn it off like that while your motor's still running, to then stop the front reel from spinning. You'll see a couple different varieties of these clutch bodies. Some of them are held on with a key and a keyway onto the engine shaft itself. This one's got a little grub screw. These are the newer kind. So there's a hole there. There should be two grub screws holding that on the shaft of the engine itself. Whereas some of the older ones, and this one as well for some reason, also has a hole for a cotter pin, which slips into that hole basically and aligns with the shaft of the engine so that half doesn't spin around. There's a diagram available that shows you exactly how that works. So coming off the clutch cone, we've got over here a little thrust pad. This one's one of the nylon ones. You might have seen the bronze or brass ones that are available as an aftermarket replacement. And I believe were actually common on some of the original machines as well. They're a little bit nicer. I've certainly burnt out my first nylon pad from neglecting it. You'll note there's a little, if you can see it, there's a little hole just at the top there. It's for putting a little drop of oil in every time you use the machine. If you don't do that, the thing will basically heat up and run ragged and come off and be useless, so that you won't be able to engage the clutch and your cutter won't spin anymore. Coming off the thrust pad, there's a shaft, little housing, and then the insides of the mower down the right, which drive the rest of it. A couple of keyways and keys either end of this shaft, and the length of that shaft will vary depending on the type of machine that you've got. One thing to note is that if you are replacing your engine, one thing you need to match is the diameter of your engine shaft to your clutch half. So in most cases you'll probably replace like for like. So if you've got a 5/8 inch engine shaft, you want to get a 5/8 inch engine shaft. They also come in 3/4 inch. And interestingly, this shaft over here is often 3/4, I believe. Just quickly while we're here, inside of this clutch body, there's a spring, there's a bearing, there's a cork lining on the inside of this half, which engages with the clutch cone. And over inside of this little bearing housing, there's, guess what, a little bearing that you'll need to keep lubricated as well. There's a little oil hole up the top for that as well. In many cases those are open bearings, so it definitely pays to keep a little bit of oil in there. They're not sealed. I want to show you this little screw inside here. If you're having troubles with your cone, with your clutch cone, either not engaging, not releasing, whatever, you might want to have a look at adjusting that screw so that it basically allows you to control sort of the travel of this yoke in relation to the clutch cone itself and the pressure that you're putting on that clutch cone.